My fellow nationals throughout the diaspora, it is my guess that most of you, like most of us back home, have recently discovered a new state of emotional and psychological equilibrium. The enormity of what happened in the United States last week, with all its symbolism and promise, will take a long time for the world to unravel and absorb, much less fully analyze. But what we do know and what we can take from last week's incredible occurrence is that dedication, dignity, a commitment to excellence, bedrock decency, and intellectual brilliance often be powerful values in overcoming the mightiest obstacles that life, history, or circumstance may place in our paths. I wish President Obama every success, not just because he is America's first black president, but because something about his persona imbues him with a special opportunity to be a force for good. I know that it is our duty as parents to rear our children, that we should be our children's first and most powerful role models. And many of us, in fact, are doing a great job in that regard. But at the same time, there are many children whose parents have no idea how to instill such notions as self-respect, discipline, and decency in their children. And so their children's most powerful teachers and shapers quickly become the gangster rappers that the entertainment industry puts on TV day in and day out. America's Inauguration Day, though, did more than pay the ultimate homage to an extraordinary individual. It also showcased the power of that exquisite system of government known as democracy. That system that allows a country's citizens to determine for themselves who will govern them, to whom they will give the levers of power, into whose hands they will entrust their futures. Our Constitution, as you know, is the cornerstone of our democracy. It states that Parliament must be dissolved by December of this year, and elections must be held by March 2010. For my government, however, the mere holding of elections is not enough. For us, it is essential that every Kittitian and every Nevisian, whether they are living in Taiwan or in Trinidad, in Belize or in Burundi, be heard via the ballot box. It is our belief, and we were broadly attacked for our belief and still continue to be attacked, that no matter how far away you may live, you continue to care deeply about what happens here, and so you have a right to be heard. Many of you probably plan to return home one day to stay. But until that time, you certainly should have the right to determine via your ballot who should manage the interest of this country until you are able to return for good. That is our view. But there are those who do not agree. Those who disagree with us have demanded that my government requires overseas nationals to return home for at least 3 months, 3 long months, in order to vote in elections. But what would that do to our democracy? Very few overseas nationals are sufficiently secure financially to enable them to stay away from work for 3 months. This recommendation, then, would result in only the very wealthiest overseas nationals being able to afford to vote. And this, my government believes, would not be good for any of us. And so we rejected this demand. The National Assembly also rejected that demand. Our country, your country that is, and my country, one of the smallest nations in the world, and yet, as we watched the triumph of democracy in the United States last week, it was good to know that here too, in our tiny country, there is the primacy of the ballot. I know that democracy works best when all voices are heard. And so, my government, it wants to hear your voice, not only when our constitutionally mandated elections occur, but today and every day. I trust that you have registered. I trust that you have confirmed. Now, my government says to you, at election time, come home. Thank you.